Alright guys, so before any trip we obviously got to start with a beer, and we're here in Cleveland Airport, so we're going to be drinking their best beer, which is the Great Lakes Dortmunder Gold, on our way to New York City. So let's get after it. Tastes like heaven. Also, side note, if you're going to fly into Northeast Ohio, I highly recommend Akron-Canton over Cleveland-Hopkins. I like Cleveland. I love going to the city and partying here, but fly to Akron, it's going to be a much smoother experience, shorter lines, just an overall better experience, but it doesn't have Great Lakes. You can talk, I'm gonna sound out. Yeah, nice meeting you. Alright, just touched down in LaGuardia. So I'm gonna explain to you guys what we're gonna try to do with all this tonight. So I'm on my way to Spain, where you guys will be getting new videos from. But I have a 24-hour layover here in New York City. So I paid up all my stuff. Hotel, Ubers, whatever, I already prepaid on that. So I was wondering, what's a good thing? Like, should I just go show you guys the city? But let's make it a little interesting. I'm gonna only spend $100 in the next 24 hours. We're gonna see how much we can get for $100 in New York City. All right, so let's talk about what I already spent to get here now that I'm in the hotel. So I did use miles, or American Airlines miles, to get here, which put me at $5 for my flight from Cleveland-Hopkins over to New York City. Then, of course, I paid for the hotel up in advance, and that ran actually $250 a night. And I'm going to show you what $250 a night gets you in New York. And the answer is not much. Now, in fact, I am not really impressed by the bathroom. There was a weird toilet paper clinger in here earlier. See, shower's a little older. I mean, don't get me wrong, lobby's nice, but at the end of the day, this is just not, it's not the best hotel I've stayed in. It's not the worst hotel I've stayed in, if we're being honest. So that ran $250. My cab ride here ran $60, which unfortunately is quite standard to get from LaGuardia to downtown. The one thing I will say is, for $250, I'm 3 blocks away from downtown, or from Times Square. So I'm in the heart of Manhattan. So now, for what my room lacks, the location is everything. So I'm actually 1 block away from Times Square. Now, if you're from the United States like me, obviously this conjures memories of all the New Year's Eve with, before CNN got involved with it, with all the different New Year's Eve ball drops and shows that they'd have and concerts that they'd have. And we're actually on Broadway as it is right now. So I don't know if you guys can see it. If you got a TV, this doesn't really have a zoom, but that's the ball that actually hangs up and drops on New Year's Eve. They keep it there year round. This is the absolute epicenter of the United States economic system. Every major store, every major restaurant, a lot of chains and things like that. You're not going to get authentic New York, but you will get, but you will have like a lot of things to do. There's bars, shows, restaurants, all that kind of stuff around here. It's a really good time, and like no trip to New York is complete without stopping here. Also, guys, just in the comments drop whether or not you guys can hear me as well on the GoPro. This is my first video that I'm filming exclusively with my GoPro. So I'm hoping, of course, that you guys can hear. I've never used this mic before. We're just using the standard GoPro. Drop it in the comments, let me know if you guys need audio improvements or things like that. There's actually add-ons I can get. But for right now, we're just trying to do something a little bit different. So behind me is Radio City Music Hall, which is right down the way from my hotel. It's a very famous music venue here in New York City, and anybody's played here, from Dylan to, I mean, you name an artist and they've been here at one point. Also, one of my favorite albums was recorded here, which of course was Dave Matthews and Tim Reynolds live from Radio City. And yes, I used to be a frat boy, and yes, I love Dave Matthews. I try to hit all the stereotypes in one big sitting, but it's a kick-ass place to visit. If you like music history, you should check it out. I mean, this place looks massive, and it's a decent-sized arena for just being here in the middle of New York City. Obviously, it's not Madison Square Garden, but it'll work, yeah? As you guys can see, I'm coming up on NBC Studios, which is right down the road from Radio City here at 30 Rockefeller Plaza. For those of you who watch 30 Rock, all 6 of you, including myself, it's an awesome place, man. Like, Saturday Night Live's filmed here, Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, as well as various NBC projects are filmed here. Another shot of 30 Rock. You can actually wait in line, and it takes a long time to get to the top of 30 Rock and see the rest of the city. But down here is actually Rockefeller Plaza, which, for those of you who grew up watching the Home Alone movies during Christmas, this is absolutely where Kevin found his mom in Home Alone 2. That's not what it's known for, obviously. They have a big Christmas tree display here every year. And the world famous skating rink, which it looks today to be a rollerblading rink, but in the summer, or I'm sorry, in the winter, it's actually a ice skating rink for the holidays. And a lot of tourists come here and hang out, and it's a really cool time. And I think it's, you know, I'm not a big skater, but at the end of the day, when in New York, right? And so actually one of the staples of American daytime TV for all my viewers outside of the United States is the Today Show. Now, I remember the Today Show as being the thing that I would watch at my grandma's house when she watched us on snow days. But at the end of the day, it kind of holds like a decent spot in American culture. It's kind of America's news source in the mornings and their #1 daytime TV show. So when Al Roker says, here's what's happening in your neck of the woods, he's doing it from right here. And the cool thing about that is like during the day when the show's actually filming, people stand out here with signs and try to get attention of the camera and things like that. But yeah, it's kind of weird being in front of it after only ever seeing it on TV. Now keep in mind, if you're going to come to New York and you're going to do a lot of these things, almost nothing's free here. Rockefeller Plaza is not free if you want to skate. I mean, it's free to look at and walk past and take photos of, and that's really cool. But at the same time, it's an expensive city. Everything's got a cover charge, especially in Manhattan. So for a more affordable stay, some people recommend Queens or Astoria or areas closer to the airport, as they tend to be lower in cost. But for the sake of today, we're going to be hanging out in Manhattan. And I'm quickly realizing that the $100 is probably not going to go. For instance, to go to the top of the Rock at 30 Rock currently runs you about $60. Now, to see an off-Broadway play, you might be, depending on the play, right? Everything's got its own, every theater has its own admission costs, ticket costs, whatever, right? Aladdin, The Lion King, those are all going to run you a ton of money. You know, off-Broadway, it's still going to run you a lot of money. You're still looking at around, I think the cheapest I saw secondhand was $40. But that was for something I had never heard of. For the name brand stuff, you're probably looking in the neighborhood of 110, 120. So, I mean, New York's not a place really that you can ball on a budget. But that said, we're figuring it out, and we're going to be doing a lot of free stuff today. Thank you. What do I... Now, to give you guys point of references to pricing, I actually just spent $12 right here on this hot dog and this bottle of water. So yeah, New York's freaking expensive. Now I know you're thinking, Zach, is that worth $12? And the answer is, while delicious, hell no. But you know, in addition to street vendors with hot dogs, there's also one thing New York's famous for, and that's its pizzas, or its pizza. So we're gonna go grab a slice of that as well. So on the way there, to get the pizza, I noticed that this is the Fox News headquarters. You can actually see part of the studio peeking out the windows. Regardless of what your feelings are about Fox News, that's still pretty cool that I'm standing outside of it, right? All right, guys, so let's get us some New York style pizza. So you can see we got all different kinds of types here. Crowded spot. All right, so $14.48 later, here we sit with 2 slices of pizza and a Coke. All right, $14 for a Coke and those pizzas. That's a little bit better than the $12 hot dog I ate. So I'm kind of happy with it. Gonna head back. We're still back in Times Square, which is always lit up. So I don't know, we'll see. I will say this, at these prices, it's gonna turn into a video about Zach struggles to feed himself. New York at night just hits different. $7 for a Coors Light. Can't live here. All right, guys, it's the morning after, and it's about time to head to Madrid. So that guy's honking because he's ready for me to go too. Let's go do it. All right, so we are in the last American airport that I will be in for a long time here in JFK. Now, New York City has 2 airports. They have LaGuardia, which is more of a regional airport, mainly domestic flights. I think they do have like probably some Canada routes. And we have JFK, and I'm currently in American Airlines' terminal, where you can see the history of the logos behind me. Not much has really changed. It's always had an eagle on it. And yeah, you know, the situation here in JFK is these are more the international flights. So you'll see flags, you'll see all kinds of stuff, really. As well as if you're like me, you have status on American, you can cut the line. I got through security in 10 minutes. So pretty awesome time. We'll show you around JFK. That's where we're going, guys. Some big old birds. Now, surprisingly, JFK is not the busiest cargo airport in the United States. That actually goes to its rival city, Chicago, O'Hare, and it's not even the biggest for passengers. It's that honor goes to Atlanta 6 years running. Honestly, guys, like, first impression, just checking out the terminal, this is kind of a shit airport. Like, there's nothing to do. There's no restaurants or nothing. All it is a bunch of advertisements for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Which I guess if you want to watch the trailer 500 times, they'll show it to you. But yeah, this is just like a plain airport. No, maybe the other terminals are different, but it doesn't even have like, I don't know, it doesn't even really have restaurants. Like, it feels like a ghost town. Now this is an airport. So we made it to Barcelona. We have one more flight to catch, and then we will be on our way to our friends at Madrid. So let's keep it going. So one thing that like I'm noticing straight away is that Madrid has mountains too. It's a lot like Colombia in that way. And I think it's because I'm from the Midwest, which is flat and filled with corn. But you know, we have hills in Northeast Ohio, but when you come here and you're just like taken in by these mountains, and yeah, they're little, they're not big like the ones in Medellin or in Bogota, but they are something, quite something to behold. And right down the way is the beach, and Barcelona's a interesting little mix of where the ocean meets the mountains. And new experience with a new airline. First time flying Iberia. Seats don't recline. Not cool, man. Guys, again, this is an airport. This is not the kind of crap that you see at JFK's glorified office building with exits to a plane. I love it. Also, I don't know if it's because I switched airlines and it's not tracking right, but I'm pretty sure that my bags didn't connect. So we'll see here in a minute. Oh my God. God bless Europe. I mean, shit, even their baggage claim is nice. Like, guys, step it up, New York. Red-eye flights living up to their name. Phew. Fucking tired, boys. I can't believe it. They all made it. This was the one that worried me because it showed that it was a baggage claim in Barcelona, but came through in the clutch, man. Iberia's the shit.